What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dominick here with another DGA Live. I am flying solo today. As you can tell, Miss Chris is kind of behind the scenes type deal. I'm just hanging out in the game room. Want to talk to you guys about what's going on with Nintendo. A lot of shit has hit the news with Nintendo as far as the gaming news in the gaming world goes, and I kind of wanted to touch base on it. A few months back, we did a video, DGA Live, and it's entitled Handheld Gaming. And I'm going to try to put the card up here somewhere if you haven't seen that video. And one of the things I stated in that video was that handheld gaming was going to be a huge, was going to be the phenomenon of 2020. And it has been, but for the wrong reasons. And that reason is the coronavirus. The coronavirus has affected the gaming industry, delaying huge titles. Cyberpunk being one of them. It's been pushed back yet again another year. The Atari VCS has been pushed back to the end of the year. It should have been in our hands already. The TurboGrafx 16 Mini was supposed to hit the States. And with Nintendo, we have noticed a huge shortage on the Nintendo Switch. And the Nintendo Switch is not a new console anymore. It came out in 2017. Yes, it is the newest console. If you're going up against, say, Xbox and Sony, and those have been around since 2013, and they've gotten revisions to Pro models in 2016. So the Nintendo Switch is the newest console, and what makes this console so unique is not only can you hook it up to your TV, you can play it in handheld mode. And with all this quarantine and the COVID-19 stuff, people are bored out of their minds. They can't go to the bars, they can't go to the movies, nothing like that. So what are they doing? They're gaming more casually. And why not do it on the Switch? I've talked to a few people online, owners of the Switch, and I've had people say, yeah, I've taken it to the beach, I've taken it to the park, anything to kind of get out of the house a little bit, which you can't do with your Xbox and your Sony PlayStation. So this has been sold out worldwide, everywhere. There's a handful of Switch Lites, if you're lucky. There's a handful of them. We found 25 yellow ones at a Target near us in Tempe, but that's it. Those are starting to fly off the shelves because people are saying, fuck it, I'll just buy the Lite. Nintendo did release a new color in the Lite, coral. It's like a pink color. So they did come out with a new color for that. But let's talk a little bit about why the Nintendo Switch is sold out and people are price gouging it on eBay, OfferUp, third-party websites. They're selling as high as $600, which is bullshit. Do not feed these people money. Trust me, don't feed them any money. We don't need to support that. We're getting more, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So one reason why it's sold out is because they're manufactured in China, and the warehouse that was, or the plant that makes them and all that stuff has shut down due to COVID-19. They reopened and then they got shut down again. So there was a rumor speculating around the net that warehouses have a few left. They were supposed to ship out April 30th, and we may see a small replenishment in the stores come May 7th. Don't hold your breath. According to a new article from Pop Buzz, we are not going to see full restock on the Nintendo Switch until summer 2020. So we're looking like late June, early July. So yes, they are going to be scarce if you're trying to find a normal Switch. So Nintendo also canceled their June Nintendo Direct. And this is kind of a big deal because normally the Nintendo June Direct, the June one, is the big one that Nintendo will show you what's going on for the rest of the year. And then they do another big one like in September. Usually this falls right around E3. E3 has been canceled due to COVID-19. Nintendo stated the reason why they canceled this Direct was due to work-at-home hurdles. This was their quote. And I get that. But the thing about Nintendo Direct is it's usually streamed live right to YouTube. So I don't understand the work-at-home situation. Makes me think Nintendo's got something up their sleeve. Nintendo recently just got an update known as the 10.0 update, and then recently another update to that, the 10.02 or something like that. And this has been a big update for Nintendo because for the first time since the release of the Switch in 2017, Nintendo actually gets custom mappable buttons on the Switch for the first time. This is great. So something that the users have been asking for 3 years. So yes, you can now custom map your buttons on the Nintendo Switch. It also allows for moving games back and forth between the hard drive storage and your SD card storage, which is cool too, because before you had to pick where you wanted it. And if you had it down to your SD card and you wanted it back on the actual hard drive, you had to re-download it to do that. Now you can move it back and forth, which is great. But somebody dug a little bit deeper, and this is why I'm making this video. In the update, there is a code, and that code for the Nintendo Switch is NX. The original name of the Nintendo Switch was going to be the NX until they coined it the Switch later on. So seeing this code, NX ABCB, as in boy, has been the code series for Nintendo for a long time on these updates. Well, it's recently changed, and now it is ABCD, like in dog. And it got a couple hackers and code people digging deeper to find out what this means. Well, one guy found out by kind of reverse engineering this code. This code in this update shows support for dual screens. Where have we seen that before? The Nintendo DS, which speculated even more buzz around the Switch. What is Nintendo up to? Well, immediately everybody starts talking about a Nintendo Switch Pro. This is something that YouTubers and fans and people all over the place have been speculating, hey, Nintendo's going to come out with a Nintendo Switch Pro. I don't think so. Nintendo has never been a powerhouse system. It's not what they're about. They've always been one step behind Sony and Microsoft when it comes to power. Okay, that's not what Nintendo's about. They're not a powerhouse console. They don't have the best graphics. They don't have the best frame rate. They don't have the best speed, all that stuff. All right, you want that type of stuff, you're going to go to a PC platform. And if you can't afford a badass gaming rig, then you go with a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox One X. So you could get your 4K gaming, your 100 frame per second style stuff. Nintendo's not about that. They're not going to come out with a Pro. When's the last time you heard a pro gamer say, hey, I won the Fortnite Cup on a Nintendo Switch? It doesn't happen. It's usually done on PC and maybe one of the Pro consoles, okay? So I don't think Nintendo's coming out with a Pro model. Couple reputable YouTubers did some digging around, and they think, which got me scratching my head a little bit, that Nintendo is going to come out with a third model, a clamshell design. Where have we seen this? Nintendo DS. The Nintendo DS is on its way out. Right now, as the date of this video, we still have support in the eShop for the DS and the Wii U. But there has been speculation around that. RGT85 stated that we might see that disappear soon, right? And they'll start to phase out the DS. Well, this just makes this theory a little bit more believable that, hey, we're getting a clamshell design with two screens. So I started thinking about it, and I said, that would be fucking cool. I'd probably purchase that because I love the Nintendo DS. I still collect titles for back catalog for the DS. I think it's a great system. But that means Nintendo has to come out with another piece of hardware. They have to manufacture that. And then they have to have developers start developing for the second screen. So some older titles probably won't utilize the second screen. But going forward, it would be nice to have like a map system or an inventory on the bottom and then the gameplay on the top. So then I started thinking, wait a minute, we saw something like this and it didn't do well. It was called the Wii U. Now the Wii U was a big handheld device, okay, that had playability in its handheld mode, that can also plug to the TV, and then you can utilize 720p gameplay on your television screen. There was a game that I remember for the Wii U. It was a golfing game where if you placed the handheld mode down below and you had your ball there, and when you swung, the ball would come off the handheld device and fly up onto the TV screen, utilizing two screens, but not on the same unit. What if Nintendo did this as an update? So picture it. A Switch Lite style, right? A single unit, non-removable Joy-Cons, but has HDMI connectivity. Super easy to do. They got this technology on Chromebooks now. Type-C to HDMI into your TV. Simple cable. The gameplay would be on your big screen in 1080p, just like a Switch. But then in your handheld mode, you'd have access to inventory, access to maps. How nice would that be to play like Breath of the Wild or something like that and have your inventory and your map right here in the palm of your hands as you're playing it, but you're watching the game on the big screen without docking it. Evercade is doing this. They're not utilizing two screens, but they're using this technology. So you could buy yourself an Evercade. You can order that. And those pre-orders, by the way, have just gone live again on Amazon, and they're expecting shipping for that in June. That's another one that got pushed back. We should have had that in our hands in March, but due to COVID, it got pushed back. But that's what the Evercade is. Evercade is a small handheld retro gaming device that takes cartridges. Atari, Nintendo, Interplay, I think Data East, a whole bunch of different titles have signed on. You can play it in handheld mode, or with an HDMI cable, plug it in and pop it up on the big screen, which is an awesome feature to have. Why can't Nintendo do this with this update? There's something Nintendo's not telling us. Now, Nintendo did come out and say, no, we're not working on a Pro. We're not doing anything like that. They physically came out and said that. But they have lied in the past. Nintendo has lied to us in the past, saying, hey, this is not going to happen. And then 4 months later, it happens. So I don't trust Nintendo like I used to. I think they're very sneaky like this, but in a good way. They've done a lot of surprise drops. So I think that's another reason why the June Direct has gotten pushed back. They keep surprising us with game drops, which is great. Nintendo is the hottest selling console. They've sold over 20 million units last year. It's the number one selling console this year, even though it's sold out. The number one game in physical sales this year, Animal Crossing, a Nintendo exclusive. The number one game in digital sales in a month, with 5 million copies sold in 1 month, digital, Animal Crossing. So this is another contribute to why the Nintendo Switch is out, is you have to have a Switch to play this game. It's the only console it's on, which also brings my point to saying that Nintendo doesn't need a powerhouse unit. Look at Animal Crossing. We don't have spectacular graphics. We don't have anything that blows us away visually. It's just a fun, casual game. That's why it's selling off the shelves. It doesn't require, I guess, a lot of hours sit-down time. You can play it casually, 20 minutes here, 2 hours there, whatever you want. And it's a huge game. It's the number one game out right now. We're on May 2nd, 2020, in Animal Crossing and the Nintendo Switch. They're just killing it in sales. So my prediction is that Nintendo is not going to release new hardware this year. I don't see it. I could be wrong. They might come out with a clamshell design. I think what they're going to do is utilize some type of connectivity. They already have the hardware, the Switch Lite. They just need the software to do it. They just need something to let that device speak to the TV. Because right now, if you try that, it doesn't work. And Nintendo says it doesn't work. I'm sorry. You can't dock the Switch Lite. You can't use a cable to HDMI to the TV. It doesn't recognize it. Maybe a revision and a battery revision, right? Because they've already done a battery revision on the original Switch, could make this system talk to the TV, but utilize the screen in your hands as a secondary screen. meaning that you're not seeing two of the same images, is what the Evercade does. The Evercade is the same image that's in your hand is going to appear on the TV. Nintendo would have to have its dual screen mode kick in, where the image in your hand is your touch screen for inventory, map control, whatever it may be. And the image on the television screen is the gameplay. They don't have to come out with new hardware to do this. They just have to utilize what they have and make it work. And I think that would be phenomenal. And I would buy one in a minute if I had that capability in a Switch Lite. I like the way the Switch Lite feels in my hand. It's lighter. It's more pocketable. It's not like you're bringing this big kind of unit. The Switch is portable, but not as portable as the Lite. And I like the one-piece design. Also, I like the fact that they gave the Switch Lite an actual D-pad and not a 4-button layout like on the Game & Watch series. So that's kind of it. I just wanted to tell you guys what's going on with Nintendo and my prediction. I wanted to get it on film because I did say that 2020 is going to be the year of handheld gaming, and it's still going that way. We do have two heavy-hitting consoles coming out at the Christmas time that are still scheduled to be out at Christmas time. We got the Xbox Series X. We also have PlayStation 5. And just to talk on Xbox for 1 minute, they have canceled and rescheduled some Xbox presentations. So the one that was due in April has now been pushed to May 7th. And they're going to show actual gameplay games running on the Series X. So don't miss that. That's going to be cool as shit. We're going to see games playing in, I think they're going to show Assassin's Creed playing at 60 frames per second on this series. They may actually show like Fable. I don't know. Maybe they'll show some Halo footage. And then they have another Xbox presentation that was supposed to be in June. That's coming out in July. So we're getting the April one on the 7th of May, and we're getting the June one in July. And so Xbox is on the money, and I have a feeling Nintendo's got something up their sleeve. We should see it very soon, but that's my prediction, and kind of a little bit kind of what's going on with Nintendo. So let me know if you guys have a Switch, if you've seen them for sale, and I'm not talking this price gouging black market bullshit, because I will not spend $600 on a Switch. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how rare it is right now. Same shit happened with Nintendo when they released the NES Classic. This was a $79 or I think it was $59 when it first came out. Just a little emulator, and then they sold off the shelves, and people were trying to sell them for $300 on eBay and all this other crap, and people fucking bought them. And what did they do? Nintendo said, hey, listen, we're going to release another 1 million units. So Nintendo did say, let me add this to this. Nintendo did say they were going to, as soon as they can, ramp up production 10%. Now that number sounds small, but if we look at what they did last year, 20 million units, 10% would be another 2 million units manufactured. That's a pretty big number. So just sit tight. It's going to be summer before they hit the shelves, according to Pop Buzz right now, unless something changes. I hope everybody's being safe. We are still quarantined, as you can see right up here. Where is it? Yeah, there's my hoard of toilet paper. This shit's still fucking rare. I was at the store today, couldn't find it. So yeah, we got some toilet paper hiding in the game room. But yeah, that's it, man. So big show.